Hey, outliers, how's it going? It's been a bit since I've made like just a me talking to the camera video, but yeah, just feeling kind of inspired. And whenever I do these kinds of videos, it's just me feeling inspired to do so, and it's also easier because I don't have to go to a studio, number one, and I don't have to prepare in the normal way that I would if I was like in the studio and having a conversation with someone, or so in that way it's really cool because I have a very busy life, and like I have a busy life, and I don't have the time that I would want to, spend more time on this channel and my podcast. But regardless, I'm grateful for the fact that I can do this, and the fact that I have the opportunity to do this, and it's never lost on me. In a way, this is like my therapy. It's also, in a way, kind of my little, I don't know, a little home, my little tiny platform where I feel like I can just express myself. So yeah, I love doing this. I really love doing this, and it's incredibly empowering for me, to be able to do this, because I've said this before in other videos, but I spent pretty much most of my life in silence, like just completely drenched in shame about who I am, and that led me to, just absolute silence, and so here I am some decades later, and I'm, revealing myself. I'm being myself, and I'm living in my own authenticity, and that's amazing. It's one of the most empowering things for me personally. And I used to think I may have said this in a video before, but I used to think that everyone was interested in authenticity, or it was just that they lacked the environment, the tools, the skills, and the permission to do it. But I thought for most people, being authentic was like a value, like a core value. But I learned that that's not the case. And for me, it's just, I can't even understand why it wouldn't be a person's value. But I guess, but I do know everyone's different, everyone's different, and everyone has their own values, and, and when I say that, I run the risk of sounding like a subjectivist, because I'm not a fan of subjectivists, I'm not a fan of people who, I'm not a fan of people who don't believe in objective truth, only because, and this is not like a blanket judgment, but like, I've yet to come across a person who truly believes in, subjective truth being kind of subjective, and then being a good person. I've yet to. So I'm waiting for someone to prove me wrong. I'm waiting to meet someone who believes the truth is completely subjective and is a good person, and is not a liar, and doesn't rely on being obtuse and vague you know, to get what they want, and who isn't manipulative, you know, because I just see, you know, this notion of subjective truth as a really powerful tool for manipulators, you know. And yeah, like I'm very interested in, you know, human behavior and why people do what they do, you know. I'm very interested in that. And I'm particularly interested in the darker elements of why people do what they do, because that, you know, what do they say? They say hell is other people. It's not, you know, hell is other people, you know. And when I think about my own suffering, most of it had to do with other people, particularly the woman that quote unquote raised me, you know. So I don't know, I'm just like, it just makes me think, and yeah, I'm just very interested in that, you know. I'm looking I keep looking that way because I'm recording publicly and I'm kind of getting embarrassed because it looks crazy, you know, when you're just walking and talking to the camera, and you know, people are out there living their lives, and yeah, it just looks crazy. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm very interested in human behavior. I am, very much so. And these stupid flies are doing my head. I can't stand flies. They're doing my head in. Yeah, I'm very interested in human behavior, and there's a lot to, you know, as a fellow human, there's a lot to analyze. There's a lot to see. You see a lot, you know, particularly as you get older. You know, I'm getting older. I'm 37. I keep saying that, right? I keep saying that. I probably say it in all my videos, but the reason why I keep saying it is, on one level, I've not completely understood why I am so interested in, like, I'm fixated on, or I have this interest in the aging process. Because I remember when I turned 25, right? So before 25, I always felt young. You know, I'm like, in my family, I'm the second youngest, and you know, I've always been in my family like one of the, you know, the kids, the young ones in the family. Even though, like, my older siblings are not actually that much older than me, you know. Anyway, so, you know, I'd always felt young, and then when I turned, like, I always felt young, like youthful. What do you call it? You know, I felt, yeah, youthful, and I still have quite a bit of energy, you know. So it's not even about, it's not an energy thing. It's just like, you know, I felt youthful, and I had the youthful spring of just, like, you know, you can bounce back, you know, and you just get up and go. Although my life is still similar to that right now, but it's different. It's not in the way that it used to be when I was in my youth. But anyway, so when I turned 25, I remember just that feeling of being young just absolutely disappeared. And all of a sudden, I could see me in my 40s. I could see me in my 50s. So I turned 25 and I was like, oh my God, I'm only 15 fucking years till I'm 40, right? At the time, like, I remember telling my friend at the time, a friend that I had at the time, and she was a year younger than me, I think, from memory. And she was like, "Man, what are you talking about? It's 15 years. Like, that's so long." But for me, I think part of being young is you think it's your relationship to time. I think a big part of what it means to be young, right, is your relationship to time is not what it is when you get older. So when you're young, time is slower. 1 year is like 5 years. You know, that's what to me feeling young is and being young is, you know. And so she was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, it's 15 years. And I was like, "Yeah, exactly. Only 15 years till I'm 40. That's kind of crazy, you know." And she didn't get it, and I didn't know how to make her understand what I was experiencing at the time. But now I recognize it's that I kind of lost a kind of innocence. It was almost like overnight. I lost a kind of innocence overnight, and I didn't know how to express that to her, you know. And she had not lost hers, you know. She was still feeling young, and you know, time was in her control, whereas I felt like time was outside of my control at that point. But it was so crazy. It was like I lost it overnight, you know, because the night before I was feeling young and the same old, you know, and then the next day all of a sudden it's gone. That feeling is gone. It was so crazy. I couldn't comprehend it. And then you fast forward 12 years later, it's gone like it's like I woke up. It's like I went to bed again, and then I woke up and I'm like 37. You know, so now, as opposed to it being 15 years till I'm 40, now it's 3 years till 2.5 years till I'm 40. You know, and that's insane. That's absolutely insane. But my God, have the last 12 years been a fucking journey for me. Oh my God, that year. So the year I turned 25 was the year I had fessed up to myself that life was not great for me. That my life wasn't where I had hoped it to be. And the relationships that I'd had just wasn't it. And that I had to kind of reckon with my relationship with my mother, because prior to that I was living in a complete facade, you know. Like, I knew how I felt, I knew that I wasn't happy, and like I knew that like, stuff was wrong deep down, but I fell into that trap, man. I fell into that trap where I thought acknowledging things would be worse than what I was going through, but it wasn't. It was what I needed to do. So I remember that year was 2012. I remember I was at the gym, and the gym that I was going to at the time had a swimming pool. So I was swimming, you know, and I remember getting out of the pool, like, after doing one of the laps. I remember just kind of sitting up and being like, "Muggin, things aren't okay." And at the time, my mother was overseas, so I had time to kind of decompress, because she was gone for like 6 months, you know. So I'd had months to kind of decompress and just think, and without her presence there, and without her domineering presence there, you know, I was like, "Oh yeah, things aren't right. And so from then I just, you know, went on that journey that I'm still on right now. But at the time, if you had said that I would be telling my story, I would have said, "You're fucking crazy. You are insane." Like, you know, but yeah, I'm here, and I'm doing it, you know. So naturally I'm more of a naturally I'm more of what you could say is a private person. Naturally, you know, I kind of process things on my own space, and you know, like to do that stuff quietly and kind of get on with my day, you know. But because of my circumstances, because of the culture that I come from, because I come from a culture of you know, exposing people, and I come from a religion that enforces, you know, that you should you know, that you should enjoin good and forbid evil, which inevitably ends up in people policing each other because they're quote unquote enjoining good and forbidding evil. And forbidding evil in the Islamic context can be as simple as like listening to music, for example, and, you know, being lectured at and being judged. And it can also be, you know, dating someone and, you know, being told it's haram and you're not allowed to do it. And so there's a lot of policing. And because the standard, the Islamic standard of living, of you know, conducting yourself is so unnatural, right? Islam makes this argument that what Islam does, what it says it does, is it's bringing you to your fitrah. And for those of you who don't know, fitrah is a concept that is an Islamic concept that speaks to kind of bringing you back to your inherent self, to your nature, right? And so Islam makes that argument. It's taking you back to your own fitrah. But from my perspective, it does the complete opposite, because its definition of fitrah is in line with its restrictions, right? So in Islam, being gay isn't technically haram. Like, you can be a gay person, but acting, this is a stupid distinction that Islam makes, but acting on your quote unquote homosexual desires is punishable by death in Islam. All right, so we all know, well, that's not everyone, but any thinking person, any thinking and compassionate person, right? Any thinking and compassionate person would understand what would possess a person to choose to be homosexual, coming from my culture, coming from the society that I come from, right? What would possess me, right? You know, so, you know, you can answer that for yourself, you know. And so, you know, I'm gay and I'm just born this way, you know, and oh, these fucking flies are doing my fucking head in. But anyway, and so Islam makes the argument that it's taking you to your own like nature. But my nature is as such, right? So then these flies. So Islam was then taking me away from my nature, because it was saying who I am, right? Because your sexuality is a core part of who you are. I don't care what anyone says. It's a core part of who you are. It's how you love. You know, it's how you live in the world. It's how you know, it's a core part of how you view the world based on your biology, based on your sex. So anyway, so to me, Islam was taking me away from my own nature, you see. And so coming from the world that I come from, you're like forced into, let me walk faster because I really don't want to be recording these strangers. But basically, oh, these flies. Yeah, so basically, Islam was then forcing me into the closet, which it did. And then it's not like it's not like, oh, like these flies. Anyway, it's not like Islam says, all right, well, you know, it's the sin is between him and me, and you know, I'll deal with him in the next life. But no, Islam also makes this argument that it's all about the next life, right? But the irony is that it controls. If it's not about if Islam is not about the next life, then why is it so obsessed with this life? Why is it so obsessed with controlling you, your body, in this life? You know, so many fucking contradictions. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So anyway, so how I grew up, right? Being gay was like the worst thing ever. It was like worse than an abomination. It was just, you're just not human. You don't deserve anything that anyone else, the rest of the community deserves. You're just filth and disgusting and etc, etc, etc. And so, you know, I was forced into the closet, you know, and so for a long time I was confused because obviously I didn't get the opportunity to kind of to explore who I was, right? To explore, you know, who I wanted to be with, you know, because it was just so taboo. And I was so scared of just the consequences, you know. But you know, I decided that, you know, it got to a point where I decided my sexuality is really something I have to grapple with, and I have to reconcile whatever it is, you know, and I had to really undo a lot of self-hatred, undo a lot of self-loathing as a result of my upbringing, my culture and community and family and, you know, all of that. I had to undo. And this is why this is part of why I really detest the woke so much, right? It's because the woke want you to be in a state of victimhood forever, right? And when they have you in that position, they effectively control you, you know? And so, like, I really hated being, sorry, I'm just blowing the fucking fly away. But anyway, so I really hated being gay. I really hated it, right? I did not want it, okay? But I got to a point where I was then tolerant of it, and then I got to a point where I was okay with it, and then I got to a point of acceptance. And now, even if I had the choice to be straight, I wouldn't, because I actually like who I am. I actually like being gay. I do. And so I wouldn't change it. And you know, it brings me and then, you know, it makes you think, you know, the argument that we're born this way was such a strong argument, you know. It was such a good argument against the religious zealots, you know, who wanted to subjugate us because their man-made books were telling them that we were evil and worth nothing, even though they themselves were you know, participating and wanting same-sex relations. I can't tell you how, like, homosexuality is rampant in the Muslim community. There's just as much homosexuals as there are outside. Why? Because it's natural, you know. And you know, some people then choose to deal with it by being in the closet and being complete hypocrites, and that's no judgment there. But don't try and shut me down because you're in the closet, you know. And that's a whole other video altogether. So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just rambling, and these flies are doing my head in. So I'm probably gonna go now. But I'll be back with more stuff. Like I said, I really enjoy doing this stuff, and I do, man. I really enjoy creating these videos, and it just empowers me, you know. It just, you know, I was watching this interview actually of this woman. She's from the UK. She's like she's I think she's a rapper and like a reality TV star, and she was on this show called Backchat on the UK, which I watched. And they like they bring people together. The show basically brings people together, and they talk about different issues. And they all have like big personalities and blah blah. I would actually love to be on that show one day. And I'm all the way to Australia, so I don't know how that would even happen. But one day I would love to be on that show. Anyway, her name is Lani. Check her out. She's funny. She's funny as. Smart girl. Funny. She's ditzy. She's really entertaining. Anyway, so she, fuck, I forgot why I even brought her up. There's a reason why I brought her up. She, these flies. I can't remember why I brought her up. Anyway, it is what it is. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go. But I'll definitely see you guys. Yeah, for sure. I'll be uploading more stuff, and yeah, stay tuned. Bye.